Everybody Hates Rand is a Wheel of Time podcast that will contain spoilers for all 14 books. So if you're anti-spoiler, pause this, read all 14 books, and come back. We'll be here, waiting.
Our title is a joke and is meant to be taken as such. In the context of this podcast, everybody refers to us and our cat. You are free to feel however you want about Rand, who is a fictional character. Don't DM us.
The world is a mess, Dark One stretching out his hand. The dragon's reborn, the fire's been fanned, but everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand.
We have to make this snappy because I'm in the middle of a boss fight and Widowmaker. Just kidding.
I told you we could wait.
This is actually my relaxation 45 minutes. I get very stressed and sweaty when I'm fighting anyone in any video game because I'm bad at them. I had to FaceTime Cambria, our very first listener and the love of my life, and be like, how do I get into this room? And she was like, you have the key, you just opened the door. And I was like, what? It's because I haven't played since 2016.
It was really funny.
And I can't remember what I've accumulated. I looked at the wiki and apparently I got the boomerang in this fight. Like, what the hell? God.
In the fight that you're currently fighting?
No, in the dungeon.
Oh,
in this dungeon.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Sorry, I think of it all as one long fight because they're constantly like, here are some monsters to fight. And then you kill them and you get some gems and hearts and whatever.
Shouldn't be rewarded for
and
monsters
pots.
Like pots.
I think the pots are actually magic, and that's what I use to
use the flying
the flying leaf.
So they're telling you that pot is magic.
That probably that
in
sounds
order
like
to
something.
Use your magic leaves.
That does sound like a message that, hey, get away from the muffins.
Oh, that's my last muffin.
Hey,
I guess he can have it if he really wants it that badly.
It's very delicious.
You can have it if you want it.
No, that's okay. Oh, wow, I see you tweeted about this.
The people don't think I'm funny anymore. I have to redo my content.
They think you're funny.
No one thinks I'm funny. Not even Tibble.
Tibble is an absolute demon.
Our little eldritch horror.
Yeah, is you a Lovecraftian
Is
beast?
you a Lovecraftian? Yes.
Yeet.
You is a Lovecraftian beast. Okay.
Hello, welcome to Everybody Hates Rand, your friendly neighborhood Wheel of Time podcast. I'm Link, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Hello, what are you doing?
Is that Zelda? Is Tybalt Zelda? Is that how that works?
Zelda, I guess.
Who am I?
He's meaner than
The
Zelda.
pot?
What?
Am I the pots that you
If I could
selected?
remember any characters from any Zelda game besides Link and Zelda, then I would tell you who you are.
Are there other characters?
I think there's Ganondorf. He's like the big bad. But I'm not going to call... No, Tybalt is Ganondorf. You're Zelda. You have long blonde hair.
Yeah, but have you seen the redesign?
And I'm
where
Link
she's
because I'm an
got-
idiot.
She's got the cool short haircut, and Link has got the long, beautiful baby hair.
I'm exiling you already.
Emily's taking the cat away. He's probably trying to bite her face off. If you could hear her yelling about that.
He's being very bitey.
Yeah, he's not a nice cat.
And he doesn't like watching me play video games. It just stresses him.
Yeah, he's like, why aren't you playing with
Oh
me?
my god, she's so intense and focused on something other than me.
Which is simply unacceptable as far as Tybalt is concerned.
To try and relate this to the chapters at hand, me playing video games is the intensity with which Perrin approaches blacksmithing. Only
Okay.
he's apparently good at it, and I'm not. Did we say our names?
No, you said you were Link.
Oh, right.
So I guess yes.
Well,
Maybe.
I'm Emily, I guess. Jusha.
And I'm Sally Goodjar.
We're coming at you live. No, we're not. Why did I say that?
Watch what happens live. Before we get started, Sorry, I'm watching the Twitter feed blow up in real time.
Yeah, that's fun.
Follow us on Twitter at EHR_podcast. Before we get started, I wanted to make a bit of a correction from last week where we dunked on herbalism pretty hard. And one of our listeners let us know that herbalism and medicinal herbs has been really helpful for them in their journey with illness. So there was sort of a bias of ours that we were perhaps not taking in the full picture of what herbalistic medicine can do. So apologies for our lack of full knowledge there.
Yeah, we certainly didn't intend to alienate anyone or even really to dunk on herbalism as an accepted art of today, and especially like an Eastern medicine rather than a Western medicine.
For sure.
I think we're just coming at it from a weird Utah bias where essential oils are a thing, and those definitely do not work and are a multi-level marketing scheme, and that's a really pervasive part of the culture of Utah, so we're both kind of skeezed out by that. But of course, herbalism is a legitimate medicine, so if that's what you use, great for you.
Yeah.
Feel free to tell us about it.
Yeah, I would love to know more. And yeah, just repeating what Emily said, we've both had pretty unfortunate encounters with essential oils, and I think it sort of has skewed, at least speaking for myself, it has skewed my whole relationship to any type of non-traditional medicine, which is bad.
Yeah.
It's a personal bias that I need to overcome. Mm-hmm. So thank you for educating us and making me think a little bit more about that. So.
Oh my god, I was at lunch today with my family, and I broke the news that Zulu, which is a fun new restaurant in Utah that we all liked because it was, it's a lot like Nando's in that they just have fun chicken dishes and like side dishes. And Sally told me yesterday when we were going to my dad's surprise birthday party. I can't
got an update on Chris's surprise birthday party.
When she was like, "Did you know Zulu is owned by the guy who owns Young Living essential oils?" And I was like, "Oh no, but now I can't go there anymore." So I told my family that. I was like, "So that's why I can't go there anymore." And they immediately were like, "So we can't buy on Amazon because Amazon's evil?" And I was like, "No, what are you guys, what conclusion? What happened? I just don't want to support essential oils. Can you all be calm?" Anyway, my dad's surprise birthday party was a hit.
True.
Yeah, he loved it. He was fucking delighted.
It was very tender.
Yeah.
He just had like a childlike glee in his eyes.
Yeah, he was just giddy. His best friend came.
Who is the funniest man on the planet.
Yeah. Ben.
Good old Ben.
Ben is also, that is peak environment for Ben when he has like a willing and engaged audience. Yes. He's a performer.
You could tell. He was very funny, and his wife was also hilarious.
Yeah, they're very cute and extroverted, and it's like, why are they friends with my parents?
No, your parents are also precious.
Introverted, quiet people on the planet.
Yeah, Becky does love being alone.
Yeah, she does. She just loves being in her room, reading a book. No one disturbing her. It's what we do for Mother's Day. It was more of a challenge when we were like 7.
Yeah, and now
it's like, okay, yeah, we can entertain ourselves. Okay, Wheel of Time. We read 2 chapters today. Sally would know the numbers, but I don't because I don't remember chapter numbers.
I think it's 50 and 51. It's called one of them is called The Hammer. We should offer the disclaimer that I didn't read the chapters. I did read the wikis. But I was going to read the chapters, and then I saw that the first one was called The Hammer, and then I decided that I was not going to read the chapters. So,
it's an immediate turnoff.
Yeah.
I actually find this particular Perrin chapter, like, I mean, it's like you have this very pure little, like, 3-page section of the chapter, which is, like, the crux of the chapter, where Perrin is just working in a blacksmith shop. Just kind of because he lacks something to do and this is what he was raised to do, basically. He was a blacksmith's apprentice. And it's just like something he's passionate about and likes to do. And that's a genuinely endearing Perrin moment. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's bracketed by Perrin being insufferable around all these other insufferable characters. Mm-hmm. Or at least characters who are, for some reason in this book, being insufferable. I don't usually find Moiraine as offensive as I do.
Either, but she's rough in the Dragon Region.
Yeah, it's very odd, and we've tried to figure it out, but I don't really think have come to any conclusions.
I think a large part of it might be that she's presented predominantly through Perrin's point of view.
That's probably true.
Because Perrin has, like, a really weird Like, I feel like Perrin and
relationship with
Moiraine's
her.
relationship, like, the boundaries aren't as defined in a weird way. Like, Rand and Moiraine, we know, are going to be, like, at odds. So, like, that kind of frames it a little bit. And Matt and Moiraine are just sort of, like, whatever.
Ships in the night.
Yeah. So, like, that sort of frames your idea. But Perrin and Moiraine's relationship is really hard to pin down. So I feel like it's really easy for them to get sort of in a weird...
Yeah, she's very much like a mentor separated from her mentee in this book.
Yeah.
And that apparently, like, without that anchor, Robert Jordan doesn't know how to, like, handle her or have her be a character that makes sense.
Yeah.
Although she also has other inscrutable moments throughout her time in the series, like marrying Tom. What the fuck?
Every time you say it, it, like, makes me die a little
I know.
inside. And I die a little each time.
I did realize
She
that
cried.
I hate Moiraine and Tom slightly less than I hate Morgause and Talonvor. Because I had to read Morgause and Talonvor getting married for my blog
Ah,
the
they
other
get
day.
married?
Yeah, don't even get me started. It's fucking terrible.
Isn't he, like, 12?
Exactly. I was like, okay, there's an age difference in both relationships that's gross and fetishy on both ends. Because, like, even if Moiraine is in her mid-40s, Tom's still in his, like, 60s. And also there's the whole Aes Sedai fetishy thing of, but they don't look old.
Yeah, she looks like she's 28.
Yeah, you know, or the whole ageless thing, which really is just an excuse for men to be like, but she doesn't look old.
Yeah, but she's still hot,
Yeah.
you know? She's
So-
hot and powerful. It's like a weird MILF thing.
It might be my least favorite, like, characteristic of Aes Sedai, the whole agelessness thing. It's like, hey,
Why?
young women and old women can be powerful.
Yeah.
And middle-aged, it's just women aren't allowed to have age.
Yeah, well, no, it's this, like, chronic thing throughout literature, too. Like, that, like, trope of the beautiful young woman who removes her necklace or whatever and she becomes old, and suddenly it's like this object of desire is now some sort of disgusting and often presented as evil being.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's this, like, young women are important, are your allies, and are basically, you know, powerful and have agency, whereas old women are evil and don't have agency and don't matter. It's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, Gandalf is allowed to be old,
Yeah.
so why can't Moiraine just be, like,
Ian
old?
McKellen is old as shit.
Yeah.
Why isn't Maggie Smith playing Moiraine? I guess we should
God.
address. I guess we should address that there were some casting decisions made
Yeah.
last week.
Decisions plural, or was it just
No,
a
it was
Rosamund
just
Pike thing?
Rosamund Pike. I don't know
Okay.
why I said decisions.
Yeah, last week. I think that came out, like, when we released our last episode, and
Yeah.
so we'd already recorded this week's. It's confusing, so
Yeah.
we're addressing it a little late, but
Well, yeah, we typically record on Mondays these days, so it's like
Yeah.
episode drops on Monday, we record on Monday, so there's like
Yeah.
a week dissonance. So if something happens in that time and you feel like we haven't addressed it, it's not because we're not paying attention, it's just because our schedules are insufferable these days.
yeah. Anyway, Rosamund Pike. My friend Devin texted me about this. He was like, "Have you seen this?" And I was like, "I don't really have any feelings about it." And he was like, "Okay, but as someone who like hasn't read or interacted with
Yeah.
Wheel of Time in any way, is this like this is intriguing because it's like an A-list movie star, so it makes it seem like the show will be like really well funded and really good and whatever." And I was like, yeah, that's certainly what that indicates to me, is that the show is going to be quote unquote better than I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
You know, have a slightly better budget
Yeah, for
than
sure.
I initially assumed, which usually goes a long way to making fantasy series more enjoyable.
Yes.
Not to say that low budget fantasy series can't be enjoyable. Merlin on the BBC, that was fun as shit.
Yeah, no, I kind of had the same. I was surprised by it, to be honest, like genuinely deeply surprised that someone with that much like Hollywood clout was joining the Wheel of Time.
And I just genuinely never gave a second thought to Moiraine's casting. Like,
Yeah.
prior to this, I always was like, I'm interested in the quote-unquote younger characters casting because I assume those are going to be mostly unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a much tougher, like, no offense to Rosamund Pike, but frankly anyone could play Moiraine. All you have to do is be aloof and not have a lot of facial expressions and say some mysterious shit every once in a while. Like, if you're going by the book, Moiraine isn't much of a character.
Yeah, she's very, like, reserved. It's not like casting Matt, I feel like it's going to be really
casting Matt is
difficult.
going to be batshit because Matt goes through wild ranges of action and emotion in pretty much every scene he's in. Same with Edwin, you know, as opposed to, like, sort of one-note characters like Nynaeve also.
Yeah, who's just angry.
Who's just angry all the
time. It's like, Moiraine is just reserved, Lan is just a brick wall, and Nynaeve is just pissed off.
Yeah,
like,
if they were like, and now Lan's being played by Daniel Craig, I'd be like, again, okay, that indicates some budgetary things, but also
Lan is coded to be East Asian, so, like, maybe don't cast Daniel Craig. But
I don't know why that was the name that popped in my head.
It fits, because Daniel Craig plays James Bond with absolutely no range of emotion. Like, he doesn't even read like a fucking human being.
Who I might actually be intrigued by as Lan? Keanu Reeves. Guys, I just fixed Wheel of Time. He's perfect. He's tall.
Yeah.
He's an action star. He has East Asian heritage.
Yeah.
He's just also
beautiful.
He has the best, like, voice of all time. Just this deep, gravelly voice. So when he says shit like duty's heavier than a mountain or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, Keanu, it is.
All right.
It is, though.
Yeah, and also for once I would finally be like, Nynaeve, I get why you so horny.
No, really.
Yeah.
If then we had Nynaeve, like a 26-year-old, be like, damn, I'm horny for Keanu Reeves. I'd be like, you fucking same. Anyway, y'all need to go see Always Be My Maybe on Netflix because that has legitimately the funniest scenes of all time with Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is a treasure. A while ago, Cambria asked me my feelings on Keanu Reeves in some Instagram question, and I was like, I don't have any, and that's a lie.
We're in the Keanussaince, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We're welcome to the new era of
He's
Keanu
just
Reeves.
really pretty.
He's just incredible.
Okay. And his voice is really sexy, too.
Yeah, it doesn't really... Sometimes his voice throws me off. Like, in the John Wick movies, it's so low and, like...
My dog.
But I'm just always like, what? Because it doesn't, like, feel like he's delivering. I can't explain
I haven't seen John Wick, so I don't know.
I don't know either.
But we'll watch it, and then I'll know.
Yeah, Sally is on a mission to see the John Wick movies.
I'm on a mission to, quote, get into, unquote, the John Wick movies. Anyway... That's our update. That's our perfect casting.
Wheel of Time casting.
Rafe Judkins, if you're listening.
Keanu Reeves, get him.
Keanu Reeves, if you're listening.
Keanu Reeves, if you're listening, you'd be perfect.
You'd be perfect.
But I would also respect your decision to not play Lan because he's the most insufferable character.
Who else could Keanu Reeves play? Who's more fun?
I mean, he could play any number of, like, Borderlander dudes.
Yeah.
Uno.
Yeah, I was gonna be what I said, but then I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
Uno
know if he's
has
got
like
it.
Bald, and I love Keanu's perfect, beautiful
I
hair.
know. How does he do it?
It's just incredible.
How do you think styles his hair, or do you think it just does that?
I don't know. What else could Keanu play?
We don't have to turn this into a Keanu Reeves fan cast episode.
It is a Keanu Reeves fan cast. We'll come back to you if I think of someone by the end of this episode. I'll tell you who I think it should be. What?
It just was funny. I'll tell you who I think it should be, and the rest of you can eat shit. I don't give a shit what the rest of you think. I'm Emily Jusha.
Well, like, Keanu Reeves could also do really fun things with, like, one of the Forsaken. Like, if the Forsaken were played by, like, good actors.
Famous people.
Yeah, that would be incredible. And, if someone was, like, Samael, and then it, like, flashes over to...
George Clooney,
Brad Pitt, I'd be like, oh, fuck
What if they just got the cast of Ocean's 13 to play the various Forsaken?
George Clooney would have to be Belle because he's a silver fox.
That's right.
Or something.
There's not enough women, though, unfortunately, in the cast of... Well, I mean, they just mix it up
Ocean's
between
8,
Ocean's 8. What am I saying? I'm such a fucking fool.
Oh my god, yeah. Sandra Bullock playing.
Anne Hathaway as Grendel. That'd be the only interesting cast.
That's true.
Because I'm big horny for Anne Hathaway.
Also, Anne Hathaway has... Let me be frank.
Yeah.
Amazing boobs.
No, I knew where you were going. We all knew where you were going. She has incredible tits.
In Ocean's 8 especially,
yes.
I was like, damn girl, I want to put my head on those titties.
No, and she's in that, like, pink
nestle
dress.
in there and die.
And they're, like, up to her clavicles. And I'm like, damn, Nikki,
Yeah.
your bobbies.
Exactly.
Like, they look real good. So anyway, that's the only interesting Grendel.
Yeah, and Kate Blanchett playing
One of the pointy ones.
Who's
Lanfear.
on the point? Oh my god. If Sandra Bullock was playing Lanfear, I'd finally be like, Lanfear makes sense.
Yeah, she does. Sandra Bullock has the, like, color palette.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Okay, we can't keep talking about
Please,
this.
Daniel, we can't keep
Please,
doing
Daniel,
this.
we can't keep talking about this. Although it's good we did this because there isn't much to talk about in these chapters. So, Perrin and company get to tier, which now brings our amount of main characters in tier to 100%. He and Moiraine, he, describes tier, the usual. They all have different impressions, and I guess if I was a different reader, then I would find that meaningful, but I don't really. It's just kind of like... Perrin does have a funny moment where he's kind of looking at people's outfits and is imagining himself in the, like, baggy breeches and sort of, like, cracks himself up.
Yeah.
And Loyal's like, Perrin, what are you laughing at? Don't you see everyone looks miserable? And Perrin's like, oh, damn, everyone does look miserable.
Loyal's like, you fucking piece of shit.
I know.
Stop laughing.
Loyal's like, how dare you?
Loyal's like, this is a humanitarian crisis.
It is funny, though, that it takes Loyal as an empathetic figure, notices people's faces and their emotions.
Yeah.
Perrin is, like, looking at clothes and architecture.
Which is, like, it's true. All Wheel of Time characters are, like, you get clothes, you get architecture, and then you get the state of the people, is, like, typically the way that Robert Jordan describes things.
Uh-huh.
And then there's Loyal, who's like, oh my god, everyone's suffering.
Loyal's just constantly like, Jesus, everyone's starving, everyone's upset. And of course, this is all due to we've seen this now, like, 6 times in this book series.
Yeah.
Fails there being annoying. She's like, I wish everyone would answer my questions. And Perrin's like, shut up. And also being annoying, because he's all like, oh, she won't leave me alone, but I refuse to call her by the name that she wishes to be called by. And I'm like, what a dumb hill to die on, honestly. And also, like, respect people and call them the name that they wish to be called by. Yeah, Fail's kind of immature and is choosing names at random, seemingly.
But like, who cares?
She doesn't like her old name, so fucking drop it. Like,
yeah. Like, you should never just, like, call people what you want to call them.
But, yeah, it's very obnoxious.
Yeah.
Always ask people permission to call them by names. Anyway, but they go to an inn, I think just called the Star, and the innkeeper is like this fucking emo dude, because he's been having bad dreams like everyone else. He's like, hello, welcome to the Star. I see you have no gear. Here, I'll put 2 beds together.
Nice voice.
Fucking perish.
Hope you fucking die.
And everyone's like, okay. Moiraine, meanwhile, is, like, cloaked and has taken off her Aes Sedai ring. Perrin gives us more of an update. It's not that Aes Sedai are banned from Tyr, it's that channeling is banned in Tyr. And also, like, so Moiraine is trying to stay under the radar because she'll be surveilled if she comes out as an Aes Sedai. But they all sort of meet in their private dining room to go over things, and Moiraine is like, well, I'm off to go do some recon. All of you can fucking die.
Pretty much.
And Perrin's like, that sounds about right. So, she and Lan go off, and then I can't remember what Perrin does, but he comes back and is like, Fail and Loyal are nowhere to be found. Not that he would, like, hang out with them anyway. Perrin's such a weird bastard.
Lawyer.
Yeah.
Such a weird
lone wolf, as it were.
Do you get it?
Do you get it? Do you get the joke?
Do you get why she said that?
Do you get it?
It's pretty funny.
Wolf jokes.
Do you get it?
But then he goes to the blacksmith shop next door where there's just a blacksmith doing some stuff. And we launch into a lot of technical terminology for blacksmithing, which nevertheless I did find entertaining because I like to try and understand. It's very fascinating to read, like, it's always just good to read about people doing what they love.
Yeah.
It's why Robin McKinley books are so good, because she always puts her main characters in an occupation that gives them a lot of pleasure.
Yeah.
She has a good vampire book where the main character is just, like, a baker. And she's kind of, like, just talking about the baking that she does with all the art and love that she pours into it.
That's so cute.
And you get Perrin over here talking about, like, carbon. And I'm like, whoa, damn. Finally, Perrin has, like, smarts. I don't know.
Perrin's got a brain in his woolly head.
Perrin's got a brain in his head and is like, hello. I'm just here to...
I wish you guys could have seen the little motion that she made for blacksmithing. It was so cute. Okay. Perrin is not cute when he's blacksmithing, though. He looks real sexy.
Yeah,
and Robert Jordan does
manly.
not fail
masculine
to tell us that.
Yeah.
And he's, like, in one of those leather vests, so he's all sweaty, and he's banging shit around.
Yeah, he, like, this is also hilarious. He walks into the blacksmithing shop, like, observes the blacksmith for a minute, and then just goes over and starts working the bellows for him, like, without talking.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be such, like, a man moment that they're just like, we don't exchange words, we just make the blacksmithing we are men of action.
Yeah.
Yeah, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, this guy's like, are you an apprentice? And Perrin's like, yeah. And the guy's like, okay. And then they just go about their fucking business. It's very weird. And stupid. I mean, if I were, like, working and someone just came up and started doing... Like, if someone came behind the front desk of the hotel and just, like, dropped into the other computer and was like, and I'm gonna help check people in, I'd be like, hello? Police? And or I'd just clock out and leave.
And be like, alright, you seem to got this.
Yeah, you clearly got it. But no, this dude's just...
it, like... I feel like the scene, or some variation of it, happens in, like, high fantasy, where you get technical, but, like, when you put it outside the realm of, like, craftsmanship, it's a really weird thing to just, like, have happen.
Yeah. And particularly blacksmithing.
Yeah.
Like, this is all playing into the blacksmith archetype.
Yeah.
If this happened in a fucking seamstress shop, you know, it would be But, you know, we've had a very similar scene just a minute ago where Nynaeve was talking herbs with Mother Gwenna. And, of course, you know, it's women, so they verbalize and they have to talk about things. They can't just do. It's stupid. It's all bad, guys. But similarly, I did also find, like, Nynaeve's little combo with Mother Gwenna enjoyable. It's just nice to see characters do things that they love.
Yeah, and I feel like
Except Matt's gambling addiction. That's always just kind of like...
I know, but I love gambling. I know it's bad, but the gambling scenes are fun. And
the gambling
scenes he does have an addiction, fun. And I'm concerned about him, but...
They become less fun as you get into this series, I feel, anyway, where it's just, like, every other Matt scene opens up with him gambling, and I'm just like, okay, now we just don't know what to do. Like, what else would Matt be doing?
Apparently just gambling.
Yeah, apparently just gambling.
I do read sometimes.
I do read sometimes. Matt has never opened a book in his life, Cathan. Dingus. Anyway, the Perrin gets lost in the work, and then suddenly the sun's down, and this dude's clocking out. And, did I say clocking out? Clocking out, but also off. Clocking out. And Fail's just casually sitting on an anvil over somewhere. And
wink.
I know, wink. Ew. What?
There's gotta be some type of euphemism in there.
No, I don't want to think about it. Eat that. And it is also, and I was like, oh, damn, a shirtless boy, because Perrin's just wearing a leather vest, because...
Why wouldn't he be?
Because why wouldn't you be?
You're working around a lot of flames and metal. Why wouldn't you have sleeves on?
I don't know. Why would you catch fire? Is it better to be scarred or to catch fire? Probably to be scarred, I guess. Perrin does talk about how, like, blacksmiths use hammers longer than you'd think they are to avoid getting your hands scarred, but it's also just like, but then you're just in a leather vest. Aren't your titties, like, occasionally getting sparks on them and shit? Sally has her face covered because she can't look at me because she's so mad at me. I'm just saying.
Well, that's what... Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing I was saying with the arms, just with his titties, I guess. But, like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I get it. They'd catch fire. But, like, the glass blowers would always wear...
Yeah.
Yeah, they would just wear... Like, you had to wear certain types of fabrics. But then, like, if you were reaching into the furnace, you just put gloves on.
Of course, yeah. Those, like, big, long
that, like,
leather gloves. Yeah, and are really...
shoulders. So I don't know why. Apparently, leather vests exist, but leather gloves do not.
I don't know. Yeah, and also, like, why...
Maybe
vests are such a weird item of clothing.
I was having this conversation at work the other day, because they're starting a program where, like, if you've been there for a year, you get, like, to choose... this is so, like... environmentalist nonprofit. You get, like, an item of clothing from Patagonia.
Oh my god.
I think it's Patagonia. It might be whatever the other one is. Columbia? North Face? Whatever. One of those ones.
One of those faves of national parks and
exactly.
environmentalists.
And, like, 2 of them are just, like, jackets, and the third one was a white fleece vest. And, like, 2 members of the committee who I'm pretty, like, the committee doing this.
Right.
Who I'm pretty close friends with, like, what do you think? And I was like, is that a white fleece vest? Because that is god-awful. And they were like, no, it's really cool. And I was like, vests are inherently bad.
I just think the only time vests are good is when they're the third piece of a 3-piece suit.
Ooh, sexy.
Because, yeah, that does a whole lot for me. But, like, vests just on their own?
I don't understand vests, no shirt.
Yeah, that particularly is, like, what kink is this, you know? Like, apparently fails because she's all big horny for wearing in a leather vest.
And, like, I feel like Sarah McClintock's probably made a vest that I like, so I should watch my tongue a little bit. But the
yeah, or maybe just Sarah
tell
tell us what is
explain
the
the vest to me.
Explain vest.
Is
the
Perrin
vest
technically in a jerkin?
Is he? What's the difference between a vest and a jerkin? Does one close and the other doesn't?
This has become the fun new segment. What is EHR Googling this episode?
Yeah, Sally's Googling
What is the difference between
Siri,
a vest
what's a jerkin?
And a jerkin and a jerkin off?
No, was that an autocorrect? Did it try to do that?
What is the difference between a vest and a jerkin?
I mean, I do know jerkins don't have sleeves.
Waistcoat versus jerkin. That's not what I asked for.
Is a waistcoat like a vest that you wear under your coat? What is a waistcoat? I'm not sure I know what any item of
Sarah, we
clothing
need
is
help.
called.
A jerkin is a man's short, close-fitting jacket, usually made of light-colored leather, often without sleeves worn over the doublet.
Okay.
So that's what that is. It looks like this, allegedly.
But, like, over the jacket.
But over the jacket. So I'm guessing, but vests also go, and now I just have to Google vest. We just got to get a working definition.
I feel like vests have more of a V-neck. Jerkins apparently go up to, like...
A waistcoat or vest, it's saying they're the same thing, is a sleeveless upper body garment. It's usually worn over a dress, shirt, or necktie. So, like, what the...
Vests are more of an inner garment. Jerkins are more of an outer garment. Should your Patagonia vest really be a Patagonia jerkin?
First of all, how dare you ever assume I would get a Patagonia vest? I do have some. I know I'm dressed like a dirty Boy Scout today, but I do have some class. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
I will text Julie, though, and tell her that she got a Patagonia jerkin.
Enjoy your Patagonia jerkin. Whatever the fuck that means.
Just sounds like it with no context. Patagonia jerkin sounds like a weird sex thing.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, the blacksmith is like, keep the hammer, my dude, because...
Someone came to the hotel and you're like, keep the keyboard, my dude.
Yeah, if someone came into the hotel and was like, I'm gonna help you with this, I'd just be like, yeah, keep the... There aren't any tools.
The keyboard. Just unplug it and take it with you.
Here, have this.
Anyway, yeah.
Keep a pen? I don't know.
Keep the hammer,
keep this pen. It's all I have left of my father. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Anyway, this guy's like, here's payment, it's a hammer. And Perrin's like, oh my god, thank you so much. He's like so heartwarmed.
Yeah.
He's very touched by this. Then he brings it up to his room and is like, I'm just going to spend a while staring at the hammer and the axe together, which is what he's going to be doing for the next 13 books. I know it's only a 16-book series, but I assume it extends. Perrin's fucking love of the hammer versus... Is this like a metaphor for bisexuality? If so, it's a terrible one.
Bisexuality is either creation or destruction.
Hammer or axe?
The two genders.
The two genders, hammer and axe.
Is he, a hammer?
Is he, an axe? Ooh.
Winkety winkety.
Yeah, anyway... then Perrin gets called down to dinner, and unceremoniously Maureen is like, well, another Forsaken, Belal's in tier, and everyone's like, well, fuck me, right? And Loyal's like, oh my god, I should leave, and Maureen's like, Loyal, you can leave whenever you want, and Loyal's like, what, I can? What? I can? Well, I probably won't, I haven't done enough research for my book yet, and Maureen's like, okay, that's great that you're staying with us, but I do need you to stop complaining if that is the case. And Fail's like, do I have a choice? And Maureen's like, no, you're dying here. Fuck you.
Loyal, I trust. You're a bitch.
You're a bitch, and I hate you.
You're a
for
shady
some
bitch.
unknown reason, which is bad writing.
It's bad writing.
It's bad writing. Anyway, but she also, Moiraine not fail, asks Loyal what he knows about Bel-Al, and then Loyal proceeds to tell us everything we will then know about Bel-Al, which is that he is called the Netweaver, and Moiraine extrapolates from this that means he's particularly strategic and smart and, like, thinks in advance. That he's also been known as the Envious because he envied not just Luthien, but also some of the other people in the Shadow. All of which leads Moiraine to believe, oh, so his plan is what I think it is, which is to allow Rand to get Kalendor, but then to take it from him and kill him with it. Mm-hmm. So that he then has this most powerful weapon. Which is like, yeah, a standard bad guy plan, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, this doesn't really, you know, move Bel-Al up in the books of, like, intimidating villains for me. Yeah. Especially because everyone's like, oh, he must have such great strategy, and he lives and dies in the space of one book. Mm-hmm. So I'm, like, not convinced, my guys.
I know. Like, the Forsaken, especially ones that die early on, I'm like, was I supposed to be scared of that motherfucker?
Yeah, because I'm not. Bel-Al's on screen for all of 2 seconds, and then Moiraine Balefires the shit out of him, and it's like,
yeah.
Bye.
Isn't Moiraine the chapter also like, OBT dubs, in the last year I learned Balefire?
Yeah, she's like, Perrin's like, how are you gonna kill one of the Forsaken? And she's like, well, even the Forsaken are, like, can be killed by Balefire. And Perrin's like, oh, is that what she used against the Darkhounds? She's like, yeah, I've learned a lot in the last year that'll make me more dangerous. Presumably, like, I don't know, when she went off on her little, like, study abroad with those sisters up in the borderlands, and that's where she learned Balefire or something.
These old ladies just taught her Balefire.
I don't know. It's
very weird.
Again, more mysterious shit that I don't really need. I don't care how Moiraine knows Balefire.
It just would have made more sense to me if she, like, knew before the series started.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like, hidden knowledge, but then that would be interesting to me if she, like, found it in the tower somehow. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
Balefire kind of begins and ends in my interest with the idea that it was a banned weapon in the Age of Legends because it basically caused, like, nuclear amounts of destruction.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's intriguing. Mm-hmm. But after that, I'm kind of like, okay, this is clearly just the, like Balefire sort of amounts to you, the video game player, like, breaking into the code and, you know, just hitting kill all to get rid of your enemies.
Kill all, Bel-Al.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I don't know.
Just kind of cheat code, you know?
Well, yeah, and it's just, like, I don't know. Like, this, I think, is just a problem of immersive things where you, like, need to set up a system and then break it, but it's like Wheel of Time does it so much that it's like, oh, it's hidden knowledge, it's forbidden, and then our characters are just, like, using it willy-nilly, that it, like, doesn't really have any stakes for me very early on.
Nynaeve doesn't have to learn it, she just whips it out.
Yeah, you know? And Rand does the same thing pretty much.
Exactly, yeah.
And so it's just kind of like, this doesn't really mean anything to me.
Yeah, to me it's just cheat code, just people know it.
Yeah, Wheel of Time, I think, sometimes struggles with, like, accurately depicting how powerful and dangerous the magic is, because we're not very frequently in a point of view that can't use magic.
Yeah, and we do
have some sort.
We do have Matt, who by book 5 is more or less immune.
Yeah.
Like, he can't be. It's interesting, no one ever tries to Balefire Matt that I know of, but I would love to see it almost, because, like, would that fall apart?
Yeah.
And how buck wild would that be? Someone tries to Balefire this dude, and he's just, like, still standing there, like, what the fuck?
All his clothes are singed.
He's just like, dang it.
Dang it, I liked this coat.
So, yeah, we don't get a lot of, points of view of people who aren't magic users, and that is a little bit, I mean, that sounds weird to say, because Matt and Perrin are both non-magic users, but they're not interacting so much with magic users.
Yeah, like, they don't, or, like, they have interacted with them so frequently, like, in Matt's case, he's with the Aes Sedai a lot.
Yeah.
That it just, like, and, like Matt's in, but even Perrin, like, has his weird wolf thing, so it's kind of, like, he's in Teleron Riyadh just like Edwina is, so it's, like, weird to, like, put them all in this, like, power structure against someone who, like, is genuinely afraid of Aes Sedai.
Yeah, it's how characters like Min could be way more interesting, because Min is a person with relatively little power,
Yeah.
kind of surrounded by people with nuclear amounts of power.
Yeah.
And that would be really intimidating and really scary, like, constantly. And it'd be really interesting to see how, like, you deal with that and how you face off with that and how you come out of that alive.
Especially because Min not only, like, she's got her vision thing, but she can't channel, and she also doesn't have, like, social status the way Fail does.
Yes.
Like, Fail can fling around, like, the fact that her dad is Davram Bashir and, like, whatever, and her cousin's, like, the queen of whatever.
Saldia. Yeah.
Like, that, she's got a lot of clout, but, like, Min doesn't have any of that. She's just, like, a...
Yeah, Brigitte can't channel, but she's a fucking hero of the horn.
She's fucking Brigitte. Like, what are you gonna do about that?
About her.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, Min could be an interesting character, and a few other characters like her could be way more interesting if, like, this was emphasized rather than just, like, her constantly being wet for Rand, you know? Come on.
It's literally her entire character arc.
Yeah.
It's very stupid.
Anyway, Moiraine and Lan go off to do recon, because they're like, our only option, apparently, is to get into the Stone of Tyr and try and stop this before it happens. Kill Bella, essentially. And Perrin's like, okay, do you, like, need our help with that? And Moiraine's like, no, you have no point here. And Perrin's like, great, thank you. Feels like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, I'm gonna stare at a hammer and an axe and also trying to decide if I like you or not. And Fail's like, great, that sounds productive. And this chapter ends. And then we switch over to Nynaeve, who, for the sake of brevity, I'll, just say she is in Tyr. She is starting to, I don't know. She's in Tyr. She's haggling with someone. Everyone's mad at each other. Everyone's depressed. She gives us a lot more of that. Then she goes... Julian comes up and finds her and is like, hey, I found something. You gotta come back to you. Mother Gwen is with me. And she's like, great. Walks into Mother Gwen is, immediately gets shielded and punched around by Black Aja. It's actually kind of funny because they shield her and are like, ha ha ha, maniacal laugh, and she punches them in the face. But then they, start, like, beating her with the power, which is unfortunate. And they're like, oh, you crazy, like, you fought almost as hard as Edwene did. And then they bring her into a different room where, like, Elaine is a little bit bloodied and Edwene is just flat out unconscious because she's been beaten so hard. And Nynaeve's like, great, well, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you. And these ladies are like, okay, great, Mother Gwen out, we won't kill you if you don't tell anyone anything. And she's like, fine. Fine, sorry, Nynaeve. And Nynaeve's like, no, yeah, I get that.
Just like, it's the right choice.
He's like, yeah, that's a fine choice. I respect that. Yeah. Self-preservation does matter. And Nynaeve's like, Julian, how could you betray us? And Julian's like, I don't even really know, And Julian, this also could be a really interesting thing, has been put under compulsion. And it's, like, the one cool, like, Julian has this really cool moment where he comes back at the end of this book. And we've barely met him, but all we know about him is he was put under compulsion, forced to betray these girls, and is like, hey, I'm here, I'm gonna fucking make that right.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very admirable character quality.
Yeah.
But then it's immediately thrown under the bus by him sticking around for way too long, doing nothing.
He could have just been, like, a really solid one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
But instead he becomes, like...
Or he could have been like, and now I'm gonna, like, I don't know, like... start hunting all the Black Aja on my own. Like, how cool would it be if Julian was just, like, in and out of the book series hunting down these 13 ladies?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Fucking brainwash me.
Yeah, speaking of people who have no power and are facing up with people with a lot of power. But Nynaeve, Elaine, and Edwene are now taken off to the Stone of Tyr because, as we find out, the ladies are staying in the Stone of Tyr and Nynaeve finds out, oh, Belal is there, one of the Forsaken. She's like, fuck. And the ladies are like, and 13 Murderol are on their way here, so we can turn you, and that really freaks Nynaeve and Elaine out, and the chapter ends with them screaming, which is a little dramatic, but hey.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do. But that's that.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of analysis for that. We all knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah, we then knew.
Nynaeve, Edwene, Elaine getting kidnapped, like, dur. Here we are. Now Matt's here, so he can save them. Like, yeah. Pretty predictable. Still, Matt's gonna have the best chapters of all time in rescuing them.
Excited.
And Edwene and Nynaeve. Like, we don't talk
fun.
about that enough, but that's fun how they're in a cell and Edwene uses Teleron Riyadh to fucking wreck the Black Aja's day. Like, that's
it's
cool.
Awesome.
Cool as shit. But yeah, next week we will finish up with the lead up to Stone of Tear. I think we actually start getting into it. Matt's gonna find out that the girls have been kidnapped. Meanwhile, Perrin, I think, and Fail have a weird thing. I think that's when she gets, like, sucked into Teleron Riot and he has to go...
Oh, yeah! I forgot that's what happens to Perrin and Fail.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous, because as Moiraine said, there's no point for Perrin to be
why
here.
The fuck are you here?
So Robert Jordan was like, I gotta give him some romance shit to do.
What if Perrin was just blacksmithing the entire time shit went down at the Stone of Tear?
Hilarious.
Wouldn't it be so funny if Matt was like, where the fuck were you?
Perrin's like, well, I made this cool horseshoe.
Yeah.
It's like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah. It would be super funny, too, because horseshoes are a symbol of luck.
Oh my god.
I made this cool horseshoe.
I made this horseshoe. Oh, also in Nine Daves chapter, she saw Rand. And was
yeah.
What is Rand doing here? So, again, bringing our tally of people who have seen Rand, but not believed that they saw Rand up to 100%.
Have you seen my Rand?
Have you seen my Rand? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, I guess. Gotta go back to Wind Waker, y'all. Thanks for joining.
Absolute fucking lunatic. Thank you to Glenna McKenzie for our wonderful theme song.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's fabulous and we love it. This week's sort of EHR call to action is that we would love for you to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Unfortunately, iTunes is still sort of the main podcasting platform, though we've, worked really hard to try and promote ourselves on other platforms. It'd be great if you could rate and review us there because it adds visibility. So it'd be super awesome.
Especially as, like, I'm now having friends who have never read Wheel of Time and are getting slightly interested in Wheel of Time, and I'm sure that's going to happen to all of you now as the TV show gets bigger. So point them in this direction because I fancy that we provide, like, a fun context for people who don't know what to expect from the show.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Do you want to sign off?
Yes. Today, one of my Salt Lake City local heroes came to the aviary. And I knew this was happening because he asked me, we'd been corresponding a little bit in regards to another project, and he was like, I want to do this, I want to bring my boyfriend to the aviary for a cute date, so I was going to leave him some free tickets. And today, because I have just the worst migraine I've had in months, I forgot. And so I'm literally dressed like a disgusting Boy Scout today. I'm so nasty looking. And I get a call from cute kids at the front desk. They're like, there's this person down here for you. And I was like, shit. And they were like, what? And I was like, never mind. So I came down there, and of course he's beautiful and glamorous and fab. And he gave me this big hug, and I was sweaty and gross and probably smelled. It was awful. It was so sad, you guys.
I bet he loved you.
No. And then, as we were talking, a million children walked inside the gift shop, and he was like, what's happening? And
a baby chain? Those kids?
Yeah.
Have to hold on.
Just a million children.
Baby chains ruin everything.
Anyways, it was really sad, and I'm really depressed about it because I love him, and I want him to think I'm really cool, and I'm not. Especially because last week I had 7 out of 7 banging outfits.
You did. You really did look awesome last week.
I know, so I'm pretty upset about it.
Okay.
All things considered.
At least you weren't in a leather jerkin.
That's true. It could have been worse. I could have my titties out at a blacksmith shop.
Could always be worse. Bye.